What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for MLB Saturday, May 15th.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top DFS picks for today's MLB slate.
And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made.
Okay guys, we have a 10-game slate tonight, so let's take a look at the pitcher position. So once again, I'm going to try to save some salary here, although I do like Carlos Rodon and Trevor Bauer. But if you're not going to play one of those stud pitchers, take a look at Domingo Hermann, pitching against a low salary batting team, the Baltimore Orioles. Domingo Hermann, he's pitching a .775 OPS versus righties, and he's facing 5 righties tonight. But the reason I like this pick is because the Orioles have only hit 11 of his last 55 pitches. That's a 200 batting average, and Domingo Hermann is 8,200 FanDuel salary, and he's 300 less on DraftKings. Projected at 32.1 fantasy points here tonight. He has an ERA of 4.02. His record is 2-2 on the season, pitching an average of 82 pitches per game, averaging 28 fantasy points per game, and he scored 35, 24, and 49 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Domingo Hermann here versus the Baltimore Orioles. Okay, let's take a look at the first base position. I like Carlos Santana with a 50% batting advantage over Carlos Rodon. Carlos Santana is batting 10% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a .829 OPS versus lefties. And Carlos Rodon, he pitches his worst ball by far to switch hitters. 41% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .922 OPS versus switch hitters. And Carlos Santana is 10 for 30, batting a .333 batting average and a .912 OPS versus Rodon. Santana is 3,200 FanDuel salary, and he's 1,100 more on DraftKings. Projected at 10 fantasy points here tonight, he's averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 16, 7, and 9 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Carlos Santana here versus Carlos Rodon. Okay guys, it's time to announce the winner of our $100 weekly PayPal giveaway. And the winner is Dan Kelly. Dan Kelly, congratulations. You are the winner of this week's $100 PayPal giveaway. Please reply to our comment to collect your prize.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Now guys, just as a quick note, we just released a free DFS contest on Draft Dashboard for MLB and NBA for DraftKings and FanDuel. There's over $500 available in the prize pool, and this is a totally free contest you can enter as a Draft Dashboard member. So make sure to click the link in the description of this video, give Draft Dashboard a try, and you can start playing in our free DFS contest and compete to win some money. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I like Jose Altuve with a 10% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Dane Dunning. Jose Altuve, he's batting a .688 OPS versus righties, and Dane Dunning is giving up a .569 OPS versus righties. There's no at-bats versus Dunning yet, and Jose Altuve is $3,800 FanDuel salary, and he's $1,500 more on DraftKings. Projected at 11 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 23, 19, and 6 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Jose Altuve here versus Dane Dunning. You know what? If you're not feeling Jose Altuve, because, looking at those splits, Dane Dunning does pitch pretty well versus righties. Although I do like Jose Altuve. He's been on fire the past couple of games. Another second baseman that I like, or eligible at the second base position, is Jonathan India with a 43% batting advantage against Jules Chasen. Jonathan India is batting 31% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .774 OPS versus righties. In Jules Chasen, he's pitching a .973 OPS versus righties. That's 12% worse than his pitch to lefties. Now there's no at-bats versus Chasen yet, and Jonathan India is $3,400 FanDuel salary and $700 more on DraftKings. Projected at 8.5 fantasy points here tonight. He's averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 28 and 32 fantasy points in his last 2 games. So I like Jonathan India here versus Jules Chasen. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. I like Nolan Aronado batting against Chris Paddack. Nolan Aronado, he's batting a .799 OPS versus righties, and Chris Paddack is giving up a .801 OPS versus righties. But I like this pick because Nolan Arenado is 4 for 6, batting a .667 batting average and a 2.000 OPS versus Paddack. He's $3,600 FanDuel salary, and he's $1,400 more on DraftKings. Projected at 11.4 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 28, 13, and 3 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Nolan Arenado here versus Chris Paddack.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Oh, and I just spotted what looks to be like a really interesting value play. Take a look at Andrew Young with a 38% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Joe Ross. Andrew Young is batting a 1.421 OPS versus righties, and Joe Ross, he pitches 32% worse to righties as he does lefties, giving up a .800 OPS versus righties. Now there's no at-bats versus Ross yet, but Andrew Young is only $2,100 FanDuel salary, and he's $1,000 more on DraftKings. Projected at 9.3 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 13, 3, and 19 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Andrew Young here versus Joe Ross. Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. I like Tim Anderson with a 19% batting advantage over Mike Minor. Tim Anderson is batting 30% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a 1.103 OPS versus lefties. Now, Mike Minor does pitch his best ball versus righty batters, giving up a .710 OPS versus righties. But Tim Anderson is 2 for 7, batting a .286 batting average and a .572 OPS versus Minor. So good batting average, OPS not great, but Tim Anderson is $3,700 FanDuel salary and $1,300 more on DraftKings. Projected at 10.9 fantasy points here tonight. He's averaging 13 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 9, 22, and 16 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Tim Anderson here versus Mike Minor. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. I like Juan Soto with a 67% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Seth Frankoff. Juan Soto, he's batting a .991 OPS versus righties, and Seth Frankoff, he's giving up a 1.417 OPS versus lefties. There's no at-bats versus Frankoff yet, and Juan Soto is $4,000 FanDuel salary and $1,600 more on DraftKings. Projected at 13.5 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 13, 9, and 6 fantasy points in the last 3 games. Probably one of my favorite studs on the slate, so I like Juan Soto here versus Seth Frankoff.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.